A perfect combination.
Excuse me. Me encantan las uvas. Well, that sucks. I thought I had those clues nailed down. At least I got one of them. Lame.
Whew. I don't sense any more enemies.
Well, we got the pipe at least, dude. Got any clues?
I'm not so sure.
How's this?
This is indeed the legendary instrument that slumbers in these lands. No, amigo. It is a rod that you were destined to use, and with her you shall perform feats that shall inspire legends.
See.
Take her and go forth into the world. Achieve your grand destiny that you were born to fulfill.
Huh?
Pardon me? Or pardon me, I guess. I'll have to learn all its unique bends by heart. I must even change parts and blah, blah, blah. Oh, hold on. Are you perchance being serious? Oh, this has been such a fun little excursion. Truly, your words have truly been inspirational to all of us here. You should work at my palace. Nay, would you consider joining us on our journey and hearing Alphen's beautiful music for yourself? Yeah, you should come along with us. If there are any other legendary instruments out there, I'd definitely like to know. I sincerely appreciate the offer. However, alas, I must go where the wind blows. I shall leave it up to you to bear witness to the legends that are sure to unfold with that instrument in his hand. Very well, then I shall keep your watch over his every moment so as to ensure...
Totally.
Blah, blah, blah. I have to come up with my way to find that takes advantage of this thing. Don't do anything with her that I wouldn't do, and with that, I shall be off. Until we meet again, adios. The mysterious pair. Maybe I haven't been to those areas yet.
That irritating bard.
Had we brought him along, it would have livened up our journey considerably.
So, what is this? Like the devil's arm kind of thing? I wonder.
You know, maybe you're right. We could have hit it off.
Yeah, and the two of you could be irritating together.
Man, you know, you just love being a bitch, don't you? Sorry, it's my MO. People weren't allowed to get close to me, even though we've been traveling together for days at this point. Possibly days, you never know how long time lasts in an RPG. Okay, so maybe we're not supposed to get all the clues at once. So, did you find any of the items from those clues? Yeah, I got one of them. It's in, So, clue number 2, I found, for sure. But I did not find 1 or 3. So, 2, northernmost reaches of a wasteland, that's in Iglia. Iglia Wastes. It's at the very northern part, so that one was there. And I came back and talked to the dude, and then he left. So I'm guessing I haven't been to the other 2 places, or maybe I have. But I have not found the first or the third one. Hey, did you know peanut butter was invented by a black man? Too late, Doc. Morty, it's terrible. I mean, Marty. Sorry, they're based off of each other. Your daughter marries a black man. Oh. Yeah, I'm okay with that, Doc. Really?
About something.
A little compassion.
No, I think
can
it's
make all the
great.
difference. I propose we speak.
I sure wish there was more to go around. What are you talking about? Our rations, we're always running short on them. It's never enough to be comfortable. We could really do with some rice, potatoes, beef, and some spices in particular.
How's this?
I raised cattle for this, so you better be grateful. I don't have much to offer in return, but I'll teach you my family's secret recipe if you like. Curry, huh?
Great.
This sounds delicious.
Hey.
Would you teach me how to cook it? Would you make food? What does it matter to you? I just like to put a certain someone in his place for complaining about my cooking earlier.
Really?
You're just so full of
What?
it.
Yes.
All right. Right.
I see a freshly caught fish there. Perfect. We'll use that
Really?
as well.
What?
Fish and curry? That sounds gross. But maybe I'm not a curry connoisseur. Kisara's initiation. Shouldn't it be Shion's initiation? You're initiating her into being a chef, aren't you?
All right.
It looks like you have everything we need. Now we dive into culinary trenches.
Yes, over there.
What are you trying to do? Private dance with it? No, of course not.
Yes.
All right.
Turn up that fire, boil that water. You don't have time to let your eyes
Yes.
wander. It's all finished, so it is. So it is. Its flavor and presentation get a passing grade. You've got promise, but there's still room for improvement. You'll have to keep training every day. Do I make myself clear?
All right.
Yes, Captain. Guess I've got a long way to go before my food is perfect, but I'll show him. One day my food will taste so good it'll knock his armor off. How cute.
By the by, Shion, if you don't mind my asking, would you be willing to share what sort of clothes are currently in fashion on Rena sometime?
Sure. As long as you call me Captain.
Sir, yes, sir, Captain Shion.
I was just joking.
Oh god, she knows how to
Kinda
play
has
the
a nice
game.
ring to it, though.
She knows how to, like, you know, not take shit. Don't you think Deadimes changed recently? Is that how he's spelling his name weird? You mean aside from the fact he's a big hotshot now? You know without him there's no way we'd ever kick the Renans out. I get that, but he's really different now compared to how he used to be. You know, he's kind of a dictator. Haven't noticed. After all the damage done to the city, I'll get you a Kisara body pillow. I mean, I'd probably use it because I like to hug pillows when I sleep. It would be cringy, but you know, might as well make use of it. After all the damage done to the city and ridding it of Almedrea, it's only right that we look after the citizens who lost their homes. So is this considered a hovel? I mean, it's not really sand and stone. When what little I had burned down with my home, I thought we were going to die on the streets. That's why I'm so grateful. Make use. I mean, I'm not somebody who gets off to a pillow, so it's literally just going to be used as something to put my arms around, because I feel more comfortable with my arms around something. But sure, let's go with your idea. We have to stay alert. We can't let our guard down until we find the captured Almedrea. Those Renan stooges ran with their tails between their legs. Once Almedrea is out of the picture, the age of the bright eyes will finally be over. I guess so. There are people resting upstairs who have lost their home, so try to keep it down while you're here. Keep it down, will you? We lost our home. Everything's gone. I know, but what's that? But that's what happens when you choose to fight the Rena. But it's not all bad, honey. We live to see the day we won. That's worth celebrating, isn't it? Yeah, I guess. Have you gone up past Akfotal Hills before? You should. There are great fishing spots to find both the lakes and the ruins. Akfotal Hills. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce that shit. Weapons. Uh-oh, what's going on? My game is freezing. There we go. What's going on? Lizard fin. Well, we haven't fought the enemies that dropped that yet, have we? My nose is so itchy. Windswept mane, haven't got that yet. Lizard fin. Hard spherical shell. Windswept mane. Lizard fin. Lizard fin. Windswept mane. Lizard fin. Hard spherical shell. So we have not fought those enemies yet. I smell betrayal. Lemon gel. Orange gel. Do you think WoW would be more fun if there were less systems? What systems? Well, I mean, Classic is a game that has less systems, right? It's more old school. I guess, do you think it's more fun to just have gear and that's it? Like, I mean, currently in Burning Crusade Classic, the system is gear and gems, and that's pretty much it. Like, builds are already, like, min-max to the point where if you don't have a certain build, like, you're just doing less. Do you mean, like, in that regard, do you want to get rid of, like, talents completely, or less fun? Like, would it be more fun without that? Because I'm trying to think of, like, what are the current systems in Shadowlands. I haven't played that game in a long time. But it's like, you gotta get your gear with the highest eye level on it, and then with the new rage, you have to get the gem that goes into that gear. Not anymore, though, because they nerfed how good the gem was, so that people don't really care about it anymore, because people complain that that was just another thing to grab, so instead of making it less good, they just made it not good at all, not really matter, so it's something that you're not really looking forward to getting anyway. I don't know, there needs to be that fish on a hook that gets you to keep getting your character power in some way. For the classic version of the game, that's gear. And once people are fully geared out, they just stop playing that character and move on to an alt because there's nothing left to do on it. So I think that there has to be some systems in place to make you, like, you need that treadmill, like you need that carrot on a stick to keep people playing. The question is, like, not really the question, the thing that you have to do with that is make it a fun carrot on a stick system so that people don't get burnt out or bored of it. Because it's an MMO after all, like that's why most people keep playing, is they want to either like fully kit out their characters, or like you decide what your goals are at an MMO typically. And like, I guess maybe for some people systems get in the way of that, or the systems are the goal, so.
That Deadeye creep
So
certainly
I think
has
it'd
a
be
few
more
screws
fun
loose,
if they took
that's for
systems
sure.
out. They'd have to replace it with
Forget
something
that
that's
guy.
more fun.
Right now, we need to discuss how we're going to proceed.
What's there to discuss? Deadeye and his crew have already brought down the Lord.
And I
here.
think that's
Just
the
let them
problem with
finish her
Shadowlands
off.
right now, is it's like,
I want to go after
because
her.
they took the systems out
I
and replaced it
second
with
that.
shit that doesn't really
I think
do
it's the best
anything,
thing
like
to do
Sanctum
right now.
upgrades
We don't know
and
if the Darkwings have what it takes to beat her. I'm worried what'll
like the
happen
Maw,
if you leave her to her own
upgrading, like
devices.
the hardcore players would have to do that
You make
shit
a good
because they
point,
want that
Rinla.
extra 1% out of their
Maybe I'm
damage,
just being
so
overconfident, but
they
between
would
us
grind
and
out
them,
Venari Rep
think we
to
have a better
get
chance
a
of
socket
defeating
on
her.
their armor
I
to
have to
put gems
agree.
into.
This realm isn't going to be truly safe as
Is
long
that
as
fun?
that
Not
Lord
for
is still
me.
running around out there.
But I'm sure it's
We
some,
need to
like, you know,
act.
I don't know, nobody
Fine by
liked
me.
the Maw
But
because
isn't
that
Deadeye
place
just
sucked
gonna take all
ass.
the credit once we're done?
But they
Our
did
job
it
is to break down
because
the walls
there was
that
that
oppress
carrot on
them.
the stick to lead them to
What he
power
chooses to build in
progression.
their place, that's his problem.
So I think it's not
For
so
now,
much the
we'll head to this
systems that are a
Estaluva
problem,
forest
it's
Bayfon told
how
us
fun
about.
those systems are to
Whatever
keep
we
you playing the
decide to do, though,
game.
we should take some
And
time
shit
to
like
rest
grinding out
first.
rep, I think is boring.
barely stopped
Like
since
but you know,
Menancia.
I'm somebody who doesn't like to grind, and if you don't like to, I like to grind, but in certain kinds of games. And for me, that's not WoW. Like grinding rep in WoW is boring as fuck, but you have to do it because power is tied behind reputations. So do I think that's a fun system? No, but people do it because they like power.
Where are you going?
Alphen,
You should get some rest. What's got you up at this hour?
Just let me be for a minute, okay? Why don't you go back to the inn?
I will when you do.
Have it your way.
Jesus, just hug each other once.
Shion. The Lord's days are numbered. I haven't forgotten our promise.
That's not very romantic, dude. That's not what she's interested in.
You can trust
You don't
me,
know how to
know.
read people.
Maybe even lean on me a little, if you want.
And if I say I will you finally give it a rest?
For now.
Yeah, of course. Try to get some rest, okay?
What was all that about?
Because I'm trying to think, like, as soon as you hit level 60, like, what do you do? Your campaign.
So we're just going to check things out, right? In whatever that forest is called.
Estaluva Forest.
And then once that's done,
Next time,
you pretty much
Pay
raid.
attention.
Like, it feels like there's not really a whole lot of systems that you have to do, unless I'm just missing something. See, like, they listen to the complaints about the systems. It's not like it was in, like, let's say, for example, Battle for Azeroth, where as soon as you hit level 120, you had to get Azerite armor. You had to grind that shit out. And not only did you have to grind that shit out, but you had to grind out the same armor multiple times because, I don't know. Because if you didn't, you would do just less damage. And if damage was important to you, then you wanted to grind out the correct armor that you needed. But there are people who, like, just play the game casually and they don't care about how much damage they do, so I don't know. I was one of those players, like, obviously, like, I didn't care about the system. Like, I chose not to partake in the systems because it didn't really do anything for me. The only time I did was in Legion, because not only were those systems fun, like, it was both. Like, I was invested in doing, like, dailies and caches and shit because of the legendaries. Like, yeah, it's still boring, but, like, that game was so fun that I didn't mind doing that boring shit. Like, seeing my weapon get stronger was incentive to go out and do things like that. Like, it sucks that, like, Legion was, like, the last really good expansion that we've had. And you could kind of see that was really the beginning of the end, because after that they had nowhere to go in terms of the story. Like, the stuff that Chris Metzen had laid down as the foundation was done, and I had kind of said that when that expansion came out. Like, if this is the end of the Burning Legion, then that's it. Like, this is WoW's entire backstory of why things are the way they are, and from here on out it'll be just new stuff. And so far the new stuff has been trash. Like, they completely ruined Sylvanas Windrunner as a character. Which is why I'm, like, not invested in the story at all. Because they just made her, like, all the retconning bullshit of, like, oh, she was evil the whole time. It was, like, you know, whenever you played the game during Wrath of the Lich King, it wasn't her. And if you played an undead character, you always had the, you know, the rest of the Horde being suspicious of you because they didn't trust the undead, because the undead made the plague. So going through the battle for Undercity and fighting to prove that Sylvanas and the undead were innocent, like, that was a big lore moment, and they just erased all of that. So for me, it's not so much the systems, it's how good the story is, and the story has been trash pretty much since the end of Legion. Well-founded paranoia. Valley of the Four Winds, Mahag Sar. Against the undead? Well, yeah, but not all of them were evil. I mean, some of them were.
Got sand
Some of
in
us were
my
just trying to
eyes.
survive.
The wind.
You know, it's
winds
that whole
outside the
prejudice
capital
of, like,
are blowing
oh
as
man, the
strongly as
undead are
ever.
here again.
you can definitely see why people call this
But they
place
have
the
to prove
Valley
that
of
they're,
the
like,
Four Winds.
you know, allies.
Indeed. Mahag Sar is the realm of wind, just as Ganeth Heros is for water.
Earth, water, fire, wind.
Heroes
light
on
and
both
darkness.
sides. No, it's not like
Red
that.
eyes aligned to darkness, leaving each
Heroes
realm
on
one
both
element
sides.
each.
Is that
But,
because some
no, I
elements are
mean-
easier to gather in certain areas than
Like, I'm trying to
others?
think. Like, there aren't
That is
really
certainly
systems in
possible.
Shadowland. Like, you
But
get your
I
gear and
suspect
then
the
that's it.
biggest reason
It's
is
not
to prevent the
satisfying
Lords from
gear. It's
squabbling
all
over
boring and watered
resources.
down.
Funny.
You just get the
You would
gear
think
that has the
infighting would
highest
come
eye level
naturally
on
to an
it.
elite class
You don't really
vying
have
for
to
a
do your
crown.
Sanctum stuff.
True, but
Unless
the
you
Renans rule
want
as a
the
minority. Fighting
portal to
ourselves would just
Ouroboros,
be
which I
destructive.
didn't really care about.
Though, as you saw in Menancia, any
I don't know.
abstention from
WoW has
fighting
been
is merely
min-maxed
a
to the point
facade.
where like even people who
In
want
the
to play the
end, you
game
all get
casually
usurped
feel like
whether
they
you
have
like
to
it or
play it
not.
more hardcore.
That may be true, but something tells me that this time is
Torghast,
different.
right? Yeah,
We have to
that's
catch up to
right.
the Lord first if we want answers.
I thought
Let's
Torghast
keep
was
moving.
alright as a solo player. It was fun to go
What
in
is that
there
ring
and
of
see how
rocks over
powerful
there
I could get.
for?
Like for a little bit,
They
and
don't
then it
look
got
like they
boring.
formed
Like the
naturally
first
to me.
couple of times I did it, it was fun.
Oh yeah. Funny. I guess I've gotten used
I
to
guess
rude
I
rock
forgot about that.
formations. They didn't even
Yeah, you
register as
needed
being
that
out
for
of
your
the
soul
ordinary.
ash to make your
Most likely,
legendaries.
they were brought
And I
over
only
by
ever made
us
one
Renans when
legendary.
we first invaded the planet.
Wait,
So-
those? So does that mean there's some kind of machine then? And if so,
I don't know. The
what in
randomness
world
from
were
the
they
Legion
used
one
for?
was somehow better in my
To
opinion. Like,
manipulate
yeah,
the
you knew you
properties
could
of
craft it,
Xana's astral
but
energy.
Really?
Think
forgot
about
about
it.
Torghast.
Isn't it strange that the type of energy each realm collects is so
And for them,
fixed?
that was such a big deal for
Astral
this
energy
expansion
by
too. It's
nature
too bad it
isn't meant
didn't
to skew
turn out the
towards
way they
one
wanted, I
element or
guess.
another so heavily.
They were too busy
So the
sexually
Renans
assaulting
reformed it
people
for
to
the crown
focus on the
contest.
content.
Sounds like the crazy thing a Renan would do.
Renans these days are more advanced than Danans in some ways.
But would the
even
game have
they
been
don't
more
seem capable of
fun
doing
without
something on that
Torghast?
grand a scale.
Probably, maybe.
Or is that something
But
that's possible
it's
on
literally you take
Renegus?
some.
Or
They'd have
maybe
to
the Renan
replace it
homeworld?
with something
I
better.
can't claim to
Like
know
you just can't
everything
take
about my
something
own
out
kind,
and just have this
but I
gaping hole
myself
there
have never
because
seen
then there's
anything
nothing
that
for
would be
people to
capable
do.
of such a drastic feat.
At this point,
But
they're
at
kind
some
of shit
point
out of
they did
luck.
just that.
Like it's kind of in
Those are the sort
shambles.
of people we're up against. We should do our best not to forget that.
And like fun is subjective, right? There are people I'm sure who still love
You're so
Torghast,
amazing, Kisara.
even
You
if
can
it's a
cook,
tiny
you can
amount of
fix
people.
weapons.
Like
I feel like there's practically nothing you can't
doesn't
do.
work for me. It doesn't
Maybe
work for you,
should
obviously.
take a page
If
out
it
of
was
her
boring
book
for
and
you,
learn to make yourself
so
more useful then.
I'd be happy to teach you if you want, Rinwell. I learned most everything I know.
I was
from my
maining a
brother.
Death Knight this expansion, so Torghast
Really?
was fun for
Even
me
how
because
to
we got
sew
lots of
and do
cool
laundry?
abilities.
Yes, indeed. He knew how to do anything.
Sounds like he was a pretty handy guy when he was alive.
He was. I'd always follow him around and badger him with questions. I was a real pain in the neck.
Oh,
Now that I think about it, he
Excuse
and
me.
Legil were the ones who taught me how to raise cats, too.
Legil is that woman who was with him in the Gold Dust Cats, right? I remember now. The one with the really pretty hair.
I'm
Funny
a
you
paladin,
mention
so
that.
I was invincible.
He
Yeah.
also taught me how
As
to
a Death
maintain
Knight, you're
my hair.
pretty
Not that those lessons
pretty
stopped
strong.
it from getting all
You got a lot
tangled
of
up
cool
during
talents as a
training.
Death Knight.
I think it still looks gorgeous.
From what I can tell, it would appear as though the
But I
only
never
thing
did
he
it like
didn't
on
manage
any
to
other
teach you was how
character.
to
Like
apply
I
makeup.
leveled.
No, but that didn't stop him from trying. He really wanted to teach me everything. Only
My
reason
Death
he couldn't
Knight-
was because I prioritized my training.
My
And
warlock
here I
and
was
a
trying to make a
warrior,
joke.
I can't tell if she's being
and I was in the
serious.
process of leveling.
The only one here who knows him well
Oh, I
enough
also
was
leveled a
her.
mage, and then I was
Yeah.
in the process
I
of
guess only
leveling
Miguel could have told us if it's actually true.
my rogue, and I didn't finish it because
Alvin, have you been
I
washing your
just-
clothes?
Oh, I
It
didn't
may not be
finish
my place to
because
say this, but
the allegations
frankly,
were brought
they're
to
starting to
light,
stink.
and I refused
Now
to
that you
pay
mention it, it
$15
has
for
been a
those
while since
dudes
I did any laundry.
anymore.
I'll wash them for you if you want. Just remember
So
to
I
give
don't
them
really
to
know
me
how
the next time
Torghast
you
worked
get
in any of
changed.
those other classes.
Oh, okay. Sure. Thanks, Kisara.
And, Law, Rinwell, yours are starting to look a bit ragged.
What do you expect? Of course they're going to tear up when we're out there fighting so much.
Yeah, but it's still kind of embarrassing having it pointed out like this.
Well,
Is
I'm the
she
mother
on?
of the group, so shipshape.
I wouldn't touch me if I were you.
Of course. My apologies.
Forgot about your
All I
thorns
wanted
that
to
I
say was that your
probably
sleeves
barely
are
know
getting a
anything
little bit
about
dirty.
because you don't really show us talking.
You don't need to worry so much, Kisara. It's only natural our clothes are going to get a little dirty while we're
But
traveling
less
around.
systems, I don't know. I think
That's no
systems are
excuse.
required in
Your
an
outward appearance says a
maybe
lot
not
about your
required,
inner
but like
well-being.
any like
Now you've really
system
set
is
her
such a
off.
vague definition of
Suffice to
things.
say,
Like
it would appear that the traditions of the guard are still
there needs to
alive
be
and well
something
within
to
her.
make people want to keep
What do you
playing the
mean?
same character.
What do the guardsmen do that's so special?
So
Mostly,
yeah, they're just
I'm
not doing
simply
a good
referring
job
to
of
the
it.
fact that they're a very regimented and cleanly group of people.
Do I really sound that weird to you guys? Keeping your clothes clean and mended is completely normal to me.
Don't get us wrong. We appreciate the thought, Kisara. But we've got a long
Are
journey.
you guys gaslighting me?
Wouldn't hurt to
Into
relax
thinking
your
I'm the weird
standards.
one?
Just a little.
I mean,
If you're
before
sure.
you came, we just didn't
I
care that
wasn't
our
trying to
clothes had
overdo it,
holes
I
in them.
promise. However, if
This
it's
was
making
our
the rest of you
normal.
tense, I'll do my best to tone it down from here on out. Still, if everyone could bring their laundry and clothes they want fixed, that'd be great. I'll take care of
People
it all
say
for you guys
Blizzard
tonight.
don't play their
Don't you
own
ever get
games. Do you
tired?
think that's true?